Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 stories about the broader adoption of the cryptocurrency asset class, and I'll be articulating why I personally believe that XRP will indeed end up being a part of that. So despite what's happening with the SEC litigation against Ripple, there are certain people that think that the majority of people that have, it is the majority that hold the, position that this is not something they want to be a part of. There are also people on the other side, and I include myself among them, that have strong conviction that everybody that thinks that XRP is doomed to failure forever, I believe that they're wrong. Now, to be clear, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. In fact, I'll be the first person to admit that investing in crypto is risky. That includes XRP, and I'll certainly happily admit that with what's happening with the SEC suit against Ripple, investing in XRP admittedly is more risky, but that does nothing to change my conviction, because I firmly believe, they gotta let time pass to see how it goes, and fine, maybe I'm wrong, but I firmly believe that XRP will be deemed to not be a security, and this will eventually be behind us. And so I want to point out that there's broad adoption of the crypto asset class occurring. The genie has been out of the bottle for over a decade. And so the people that are purchasing XRP right now, they're people, by and large, if they're informed at least, like me. And part of the bet that I think they're making, I'm making a bigger bet than many, just in terms of like the reasons that I'm holding, because I think that utility matters and will win the day. That's my investment thesis. So I do think that, as long as governments don't crush the opportunity here, XRP can be used globally as a bridge currency, just as long as things continue to go the way that they had been going up to this point anyway. But so I'm when I'm investing in XRP, when I've done that over the last few years, that was a huge, ginormous part of why I've been doing that. Now, in the short term, I think that a lot of people will be, they recognize an opportunity, and admittedly a riskier one, but I think a lot of people that are going to be putting money in during the duration of this court case are betting that Ripple's going to be found to be on the right side of history on this one. And if they're right, the gains as a result of that could be rather tremendous. I think that's the bet that they're making. And so this is all amidst a broader backdrop of global cryptocurrency adoption, and it's not going away. I firmly believe that XRP, which, by the way, I can't remember the percentage, if it's like 85, 90, 95% of XRP trading, it doesn't occur in the United States. That's not going away. People are still speculating on this. And so, once there's regulatory clarity, presumably it'll end up being favorable for Ripple. We'll wait and see. That's what I'm waiting for here. And so it could be a long wait, but I'll tell you what, I've been patiently waiting for over 3 years. I've been in the space now. I will wait however long I have to, and I'm going to be hanging out with you. I'm not one of those fly-by-night individuals that only makes YouTube videos when there's blue skies out there. I'm going to be here right there with you. So I get it. Things are scary out there. There's a lot of uncertainty. I'm right there with you. I have skin in the game, and I'm going to keep running this YouTube channel, whether it's good times or bad times, period. So this first piece is titled "$1 billion Asset Management Firm Skybridge Capital Invests $182 billion in Bitcoin." And so this is the type of thing that would effectively have been unheard of if you just go back even say 4 or 5 years. Completely unheard of. But this is the direction that we're going. I will continue to highlight these stories on the Moon Lambeau channel because it's incredible. Anthony Scaramucci's multi-billion-dollar investment firm Skybridge Capital has reportedly invested $182 million in Bitcoin. The firm's Skybridge Bitcoin Fund LP will launch on July 4th with a minimum $50,000 allocation required for investors, reports CoinDesk. And so think about this. Most institutional money that will be in crypto is not in crypto right now. And just wait till I've got another story just illustrates just how little crypto there is out there in the wild. So little of it is liquid, and that is what's going to be driving up prices here. So both Bitcoin and XRP are scarce. And to the people that say 100 billion XRP is not scarce, well, the number 21 million sounds pretty big, but I don't think you understand how few people on the planet have to participate to get substantially higher prices and a tremendous multiplier effect if it goes the way that, I think and hope that it will. Now, in an investment brochure, the $9.3 billion asset management firm touts the upsides of investing in Bitcoin, calling the flagship cryptocurrency an emerging asset class that is now less risky, with growing interest from both retail and institutional investors. Right, exactly. And so think about this. Outside of potentially XRP being declared a security in the United States, and again, that's just one country on the planet. Outside of that, there was a pretty broad recognition that things are looking rosy for XRP, as evidenced by the fact that XRP did run up to almost 80 cents within the last month or so. And so like the promise is still there. At this point, like I was stating a moment ago, it seems to me that people investing in XRP at this point are the ones that have stuck around. In part, we're making a bet that Ripple will be proven to be on the right side of history. And regardless, there's still broader adoption for the cryptocurrency asset class. And I'm going to talk about this more in future videos. Like XRP continues to be my primary holding, but I am going to be investing more into other altcoins, some of which, like, by the way, I don't want to go too much on a tangent on this, but I do hold currently 17 different cryptocurrencies. The vast majority of them, actually all of them, were purchased in 2017. I purchased XRP in 2017. The only coin I purchased after that, though, was XRP, and that was just based on my investment thesis being that utility matters and will win the day. But I've decided that I do want to diversify and further, and I think it's a good time to do it. Just my humble opinion. This isn't getting not financial advice, but I think the altcoin season is going to be coming potentially sooner than later. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to do it, this is the time to do it here. But I'll talk more about that in another video. The document says Bitcoin is better at being gold than gold. It also cites that low interest rates and unprecedented money printing contribute to the premium placed on scarce assets like gold, art, real estate, and Bitcoin. Investments in Bitcoin are going mainstream among traditional financial institutions. Life insurance firm Mass Mutual is also investing $100 million in Bitcoin. In addition, $51 billion global investment firm Jefferies is selling gold for Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, the largest independent publicly traded business intelligence company, now holds more than $1 billion in Bitcoin after making several purchases throughout the year. And so whether it entirely makes sense to us or not, and I still have critiques against Bitcoin, you guys know that if you've been following me, it's the market leader. The market is speaking to us, and I'm paying attention. And I do hold Bitcoin. I'm not a maximalist. I just happen to be most excited and most optimistic for XRP. But there are other coins that the market is saying, hey, look at this here. And so those are opportunities that I'm also not going to ignore. Now take a look at this piece. And this, again, it's like everything that I'm saying is against this broader backdrop of just serious global adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And we know that cryptocurrencies, including XRP, do follow the price action of Bitcoin, although obviously over the last week, the news has been crushing XRP in terms of price action. And that's not surprising though, right? Devastating news like that resulting in people deciding, yeah, this is too much for me. Yeah, I totally get it. And I respect everybody that sold their XRP and said, no, that one part of it's too risky. I respect you. No problem with that whatsoever. You do you. It makes a ton of sense. The way that I feel has not changed. And so I'm going to continue to hold. I haven't sold a single XRP here. But look at this headline. Miami could become first city in U.S. to allocate treasury reserves into Bitcoin. Miami Mayor Francisco Suarez says he's open to exploring whether the city would benefit from allocating a part of its treasury reserves into Bitcoin. Suarez offered a straightforward response to a suggestion that from Anthony Pompliano on Twitter, who urged his 429,800 followers to tell the mayor he should move 1% of Miami's reserves to Bitcoin. And here's a quote: "Definitely open to exploring it." Do you see the significance of this, though? Like, you force somebody to even say they'd explore it publicly 5 years ago, and probably not even that long ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. Like, you'd be laughed out of office, right? But it's the more time passes, the more clear it is that crypto is here to stay, and this is important. When asked whether Miami is also considering the possibility of accepting Bitcoin as a means for citizens to settle their bills with the city, the mayor said, "It is part of their plans for next year." Here's another quote: "We are definitely going to be working on that in 2021. Well, how about that? Previously, Suarez noted that in an effort to facilitate Miami's crypto legislation, he is open to consulting with Caitlin Long, a Wall Street veteran and Bitcoin advocate, who was appointed to lead the Wyoming Blockchain Committee. And here's a quote: "That is precisely where we ought to be, on the vanguard of legislation that promotes crypto and makes us forward-leaning in innovation. Will DM her." And so, indeed, these people, they are trailblazers. And the fascinating thing to me has been and continues to be indefinitely that for the last few years, like, we beat the institutional money. We beat the vast majority of crypto adoption that will occur over the rest of our lives. Like, we beat it. And it's astonishing to me. And that's why I feel like there's such opportunity here. And take a look at this. From you today, VanEck files with SEC to launch Bitcoin Trust. Investment management firm VanEck has filed a registration form with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission to launch a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. Here's a quote: "The VanEck Bitcoin Trust is an exchange-traded fund that issues common shares of benefit interest that trade on the exchange. The trust's investment objective is to reflect the performance of the MVIS Crypto Compare Bitcoin benchmark rate, less the expenses of the trust's operations." And so in October 2019, VanEck withdrew its previous proposal. The SEC is yet to approve a Bitcoin ETF. And look, I think this will happen. And I've talked about why I think that when it ultimately does, it's just going to result in a tremendous boom in money flowing into Bitcoin and ultimately, really, as a result, the entire crypto asset class. Because, yeah, you get your feet wet with Bitcoin. That's how it is for most people anyway. And they're like, oh, what are these other coins? What do they do? And then you start researching them, and a certain amount of money will flow into them as a result. But, there's Kevin O'Leary, and I mentioned this in a recent video too. He was interviewed by, I believe, Anthony Pompliano, and he said, look, if there were, an ETF or just some sort of way, the government provided sufficient clarity that we could just invest, he was talking about him as like a rich person, all of his rich people friends. If they could, that's not how he said it, obviously. But if they could invest in a fund that captured, gave them exposure to the top 7 cryptocurrencies by market cap, now that would be astonishing. XRP is there; it's in the top 7, right? I'm telling you guys, the real money isn't here. XRP ran from 20-something cents to almost $4 with less than 0.002% of humans on the planet having ever held XRP. That's an astonishing fact. As long as XRP goes the way that I think it will in terms of getting regulatory clarity sufficiently, I don't think it's going away because there's real utility here. And so I just think there's barely any humans in it. What's going to happen once there is that clarity and as more people jump into the space, which is why I'm highlighting these very interesting stories. What do you think is going to freaking happen? And so I'm taking that bet. Call it risky, that's fine, I agree. But I'm taking it, and I'm firm in my convictions on this. Here's a piece from Decrypt. After institutional investors hoard, just 22% of Bitcoin is left for traders. And this is astonishing. So few people realize how little Bitcoin is out there, and this is important because Bitcoin leads the market, right? And so it's going to make it's just a supply and demand thing. It's going to result, I believe anyway, in the price of Bitcoin increasing substantially, and the rest of the market to this point, because it's in its nascency, it's not mature, and people don't parse out sufficiently the differences between cryptocurrencies, I believe. As a result of that, you're going to see other coins follow ultimately, right? And so even now with XRP, I feel like the vast majority of people that were going to drop out, they're already gone, as evidenced by the fact that when you saw news drop the other day about other, new delistings of cryptocurrency exchanges, the market didn't really respond. They're like, okay. But that's because the people that are still here, like me, were like, yeah, okay. We're like, we get it. We are aware of this. Everybody else is already out. And so at this point, I don't know for sure if we're at the floor price-wise. I honestly don't. But regardless, we're probably close to it. And it's at some point, more money is going to be coming in. And people that want to take that bet that the SEC's wrong will. And I think that the price of XRP has the potential to go up even just on that. But wait till there's regulatory clarity. And again, none of that's financial advice. I'm just sharing with you my opinion. Just want to be crystal, super-duper clear on that. But check out this. Most Bitcoin is illiquid, 78% of it. And this is driving the current bull run, according to a new report. Bitcoin liquidity refers to how much of the asset is in circulation. According to findings published yesterday by blockchain analysis company Glassnode, only 4.2 million Bitcoin, that's 22%, are currently available to buy and sell. The report says that there is a shortage of Bitcoin because it's being snapped up by big investors. This trend is making the currency more expensive. And again, this is why I keep highlighting this. That is happening. This is an institutionally driven bull run to this point. More retail investors will come in, I firmly believe. But it's institutionally driven to this point. And most institutional money, the vast majority on the planet, is not in it yet. And so they're all going to be fighting for these scraps, and then everybody else that doesn't own any Bitcoin, they're going to be fighting for that as well. And again, supply and demand dynamics. What do you think is going to happen? Tell me, seriously. But here's a quote. If many Bitcoins are illiquid, a supply-side crisis emerges, which has a weakening effect on Bitcoin's selling pressure in the market, Glassnode says. Or put differently, a sustained rise of illiquid Bitcoins is an indication of strong investor hodling sentiment and a potentially bullish signal. I couldn't agree more. It's perfectly stated. Do I even need to add anything else to that? And so again, I understand how scary things are out there for XRP holders right now. I'm one of them, but honestly, like, I only put money that I'm willing to lose in case I'm wrong about the way I think this will all go anyway. And I'm also going to increase my exposure in the crypto asset class and other cryptocurrencies. I think diversification makes sense for me personally. So that's what I'm going to do, but I will not sell a damn XRP until it's worth substantially more. And if that never happens, fine. But I again, my conviction is strong. I am the epitome of strong hands. I could not be more confident in my stance on this. And that's that. That's that. And again, I don't blame anybody that feels scared or got out of XRP one bit. I understand, like, the degree to which this became a riskier bet increased. I totally understand it. But that's why I say totally cool. Just do what you feel is right for you financially. I'm never going to critique anybody for that, and I don't offer financial advice. So anyway, I'll wrap it there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.